You know,
Welcome everyone for tonight's installment of Dr. Netflix.
you know, you realize what happened if Captain Pollution and Nuclear Man had a baby? It was it's kind of frightening, kind of scary.
Mm, Anyway, so today we're going to be reviewing the movie called The Bay on Netflix, of course. It's a found footage type film.
It's kind of more well, it is kind of found footage, but I see it more as a documentary type of a
Yeah,
film. But a how can I best explain? It's kind of documentary, but not exactly documentary, if that make any
so
sense.
it's kind of like a combination of the two.
Yeah,
Basically, it's a story being told through found footage, but also through a commentator slash witness of the events.
yeah. The entire story, which is take place in this small town in Michigan, was it?
Maryland.
Oh, Maryland, Michigan, whatever. And it's the town. Well, it's called the Bay. I forgot what the town is actually called. It's during the Fourth of July, where everything is all happy, and this Fourth of July fireworks and parades and shit going on.
Well, really, it was just one festival and they never got to the fireworks. But keep going.
I, I think the word it was just the one. It was that one firework just going off. Boop. I think it was a flare, but semantics. Cough. At around, I think I want to say it was around like 9 in the morning or 12 in the afternoon, whichever time. It was around the afternoon, I guess, and late morning. Semantics and whatnot, but it takes place around the entire day, where the entire town is infected by what seemed to be some kind of virus, but later on, well,
We'll let them find out
yeah.
if you end up watching it.
Which I want to say, I think they should. I'm gonna say this is a really, really good movie.
I liked it. I didn't think it was the best. Like, I think the story itself was really good, and I think it was symbolic as well. I don't know if you caught it.
I caught it. I watched at least some of the documentaries that we kind of watching. Like, I get what this is supposed to be, and
What is it supposed to be?
well, it's supposed to be about the entire ecosystem. Well, not the ecosystem. I try to think of the term and the name for it. I'm sounding kind of dumb. I know the actual name. It will come on to me. Yeah, I totally forgot. You know what, baby girl? You want to help out for a little bit?
Well, to me, this movie, there's an underlying theme there of how things can seem really beautiful and really perfect on the outside, but things can be
I just got.
basically like that underneath. There can be a lot of bad stuff going on that you might not see or that you might not know is happening, but eventually it's going to come out and destroy you or a town. And it does have a lot to do with society and the way that things work, like as far as the news and what the public gets shown versus what's really happening on the inside. And I know the movie itself, it showed how the media will cover things up that the government or the higher ups don't want you to know about. And basically all you really do know about is what we're shown. We don't know everything that's actually happening. And this story in particular, it was a lot like that, where the government official, he knew what was going on, but he didn't say anything, or he didn't pay any mind to it, or didn't really quite care. And then things got all fucked up because of him.
Is it more? Sorry.
Fuck you.
No, I know. I don't mean like that. It mean like you had to kind of blink stares and like, it's your turn now, dumbass. I thought it was going towards me.
So why'd you question it?
No, like I
You
know.
can read my mind.
No, no. I just meant like as in. I mean, we look at me. It's like now is your turn. Please speak to the microphone. Because I was gonna say like,
I want to hear your thoughts.
oh, well, thank you. When you were saying that,
It clicked.
yeah, it actually did click. But it's also a kind of environmental kind of tale, but it's shown in a very horrific way.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a documentary I watched about vegans. The one that turned me into a vegan for about 3 months. So I completely forgot about the documentary.
Ah, progress. You know what? This movie it it reminded me of an it did remind me of like another movie that I was really thinking about it. Well, it reminded me of two things, and one of which was Diary of the Dead, which came out I want to say around 2004, which is a George A. Romero movie, and he did it in a very found footage style, which is supposed to be like a kind of semi prequel, but at the same time kind of happening of during of the Night of the Living Dead of the time concept. But see, with that movie is it was very hokey and it played more as a B movie kind of movie. Diary of the Dead, I meant, and it didn't work as well as when you watch like other found footage like Cloverfield and Paranormal Activity, where it shows how you can do a better like found footage movie. And Diary of the Dead, like the way I guess Jordan Miller tried to do, he tried to do his best to try and make a found footage movie with zombies, but it was just more like it could have been better. And this really reminded me of that, as in like, you know what, this what should have been Diary of the Dead, like to show you a much better version of that.
I felt like it could have been a little bit better, but it was a pretty good movie. Although I have to say, like, it starts off with a bunch of news stories of birds falling from the sky, like a bunch of them just dropping dead, and a bunch of dead fish washing up on shore, like basically environmental mysteries. And then they say that these are the stories that weren't told. And I was thinking, okay, cool, it's gonna be a bunch of stories, it's gonna be multiple, and then it was only one. So it's kind of like, eh.
Well, technically, it was a whole bunch of story that just come into one, which
It was different people, but it was the same situation on the same day, and it was just different characters.
which I gotta say, I actually did kind of prefer that. There's been a lot of complaint with found footage movie where you follow this group of people or this group of one person. At least what I can get out from some of the criticism of it, most of the time those people are just very unlikable, or you just didn't really care for it. At least with this one, I did like the whole situation where it's not just one story of this is kind of happening. It's taking place over there, it takes place over there. It feels like there was more like of this going on, but you see from like different perspective, and it felt like more you did kind of care about these people, but through like different perspective.
Honestly, I thought I didn't find a connection with any of the stories, but I didn't feel like I really got to know them or it was any deeper than just watching what was going on. So there was nothing really personal there. It's just like watching these stories, which wasn't so great, I guess you can say. Whereas other stories, you get a personal connection to the people. I didn't get that. If you did, that's great. I didn't personally.
To each their own.
So I guess the story would have been better if I did get a personal connection with any of them.
Well, I wouldn't say I got like a personal connection, but
I got more of a personal connection with Blackfish.
that's one whale. Well, it's more.
That's a fucking whale.
I get what you mean. As much in a way, yeah, it would have been nice to like have that one kind of person. I don't know, like if anything, I felt it could have just lessered the movie, because with found footage today, they need to like set up the reason why these people are carrying these cameras, instead of you the viewer could be like, just drop the fucking camera, help this fucking person out. At least with this, there's no there's no like an actual excuse for it. It's just more than one person, having all these different.
I mean, it made sense. It was a festive day and people making home movies. It made sense. And I did like it. And I didn't think there was a huge need for a personal connection either, because it was kind of documentary style. So you just kind of get to see what's going on, but you don't actually have to like the people. You just want to figure out, okay, what's happening? Why is this happening? What's going on? something I keep wanting to say, but I forget what I want to say until you're talking, and then I remember. And you talk too long, and then I forget again.
Power to the people. You know what? I gotta say another thing.
Okay, now I remember. Shut the fuck up. Okay, now I forget. Start talking again.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
now I remember. I have to say one thing, which I find with a lot of the found footage, not a lot of them, but when I first watched Paranormal Act, when I first
Paranormal Activity.
shut, you're gonna edit this on. You're gonna let me say it. With Paranormal Activity, the first one, when I started watching it, I was questioning if it was real, and it was really bothering me if it was real or not. But I felt like the fact that it could be real, it kind of kept me hanging on there a little bit longer because it was a little bit eventless, but you did want to watch it. Now with this movie, it does seem extremely realistic, and the fact that it could be real is kind of exciting and kind of like, ooh, I get to watch a story untold. And then you have a dead giveaway, which was the first thing was an actress that's in House of Cards. She was in it, so that was the first dead giveaway that, okay, this shit's fake. And then another one is when there's a doctor and he's talking to the disease control center, and he says, I forgot what word he used because I'm really into this show called Shameless, and it's a British show. So I'm thinking of the word bollocks, but it's not bollocks.
Bullshit.
No, it was the word for dick
Oh, for dick?
or ball sack.
Scrotum?
No, it was a very
Testicles?
it wasn't a professional term.
Balls? Dick?
No.
Cock?
No,
Penis?
I said not professional.
I'm trying to
As
think.
in it's a slang word.
I'm trying to think of another thing to look for. Mr. Johnson? General Lee?
Not a nickname.
The Giant. Eighth wonder of the
Basically,
world.
it was a word for balls, but it was less professional. It was very slang-like, so a doctor wouldn't talk like that. That was another one, but I already figured out it was fake. But it kind of turned me off a little bit because it's kind of exciting when you think it's real. I know that's stupid of me, but I can't help it. You think
You want that fantasy of like
not that fantasy, but like you're seeing something that you shouldn't be able to
immersion,
see.
like you want the immersion of like this feels real.
Illusion.
No, immersion.
I don't know.
It's
What the fuck is
it's the same thing as it's what you're talking about, where you want it to feel real, and you want the immersion of it. It feels real, but you kind of lost that immersion when this person just says his fucking testicles, man, like they're just
See,
dropping out.
testicles, that's like a medical term.
His balls just drop out and just exploded onto me. I don't know what to do.
So yeah, like the kind of cool thing about found footage films is you see people that you don't know, you don't recognize. They're unknown people, unknown actors, so they seem like real people, not just actors, but like they could be real people just walking out in the streets, having a normal life, and then something fucked up happens.
I get what you mean, but I guess that really bothered me. Like, I just when I was watching this movie,
It took it down a little notch for me. I just didn't think that the movie was really good, and I love the explanation of it, and I love how realistic it could be for something like this to happen, because I love those what if scenarios where, hey, our culture is really fucked up. The things that we do are really fucked up, and maybe one day something like this could happen. It's kind of like Wall-E, where they fucking destroy the earth,
so this
and then they end up in space, and then they get so used to not walking or having to do any type of physical activity that they can't even walk because they don't need to walk. And that's how evolution works.
So what he's saying is this is a more adult version of Wally.
Yeah, that was pretty adult. Okay.
I'm not saying it, but I haven't seen Wally in a while.
That's why, like, if you look at it, Disney is really environmental because some of the movies that they make, you can tell that they're into human rights and that they're into the environment, which is kind of cool.
Lion King, Wally,
Bambi.
Bambi counts.
Yeah, baby counts. His mom was shot by a hunter.
But that's
and
not.
Then you see what a baby deer has to go through because his mom was killed by a hunter.
What do you mean?
You know how cruel that is?
After the next scene of where like Bambi mom got shot, they go like oh da, 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 like have all these little flowers and like it's all like singing like it's sounding like look at pretty flowers.
It shows you that life moves on. But it was, you know what? A lot of people to this day still probably cry to that scene.
Yeah,
okay?
my cousin cannot watch that movie anymore. Like after that, she goes, "I'm not watching this. Turn that shit off."
Because when you grow up and you see what it really is, you see how depressing it is.
No, like she watched it when I don't know what age she watched that, but I'm not sure she was wrong.
What, you're saying it scarred her?
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you're older, you see what it really is. When you're younger, you don't really know.
I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever. I'm just pointing out to you something funny. That's what I do.
Not funny.
It's funny to me.
Back to the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're talking about the Bay.
That movie, I really did love the theme, and I loved how realistic it is. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't care because the message was awesome. Because you can compare it to so many things where, I mean, even in like today's world, we don't really know what's going on in Iraq. We just know what they tell us. For all we know, they're getting ready to strike us back on our own land. Not to scare anyone, but, you know, shit's going on that we're not aware of. And that's the truth. And that's kind of what this movie's about. You living your life perfectly happy, not worrying about anything, just trying to be American and do the right thing, have a job, just being concerned about your family and not being concerned about what's going on in politics or in your own damn town when a whole bunch of shit is actually going wrong and you don't even know about it.
Word. I just want to say that one word. But yeah, I gotta think a whole bunch of things to talk about this movie. You took everything, not everything, but you took a whole bunch of things that I could have said.
And I said it better. Bam.
But yeah, what she said, yeah.
I have nothing to add.
No. I do have things to add.
Then add on.
I can add things I do really like about this movie. One of the other things I do like about this movie, where see, I wanted to say that I don't think like most horror movies haven't done this in a while. At least the ones I have not seen. It's just the atmosphere of the whole movie. When we get more to like the end, I think the end or the half of it. I don't really want to say, but the atmosphere of it is like I thought it was just real. It was really scary. It's funny to see when you first watch the movie, and then you see the after events, after everything that happened, and I thought to myself like, this is probably one of the best atmosphere a horror movie could have.
I don't think it was scary though, and
I don't want to say okay. Well, in a way, it had that very chilling vibe to it.
Well, yeah, that you could tell things were wrong, but can I just say there is this one part where there's this guy that he looks dead, but he's actually alive, and this girl, she gets scared and she runs away. Now, this guy sitting next to me, he jumped and he got scared. Now, what I was thinking in my head was, wow, that's really fucked up This guy is not a zombie. He's not a monster. He's not trying to chase her. He needs fucking help. What the fuck? How dare you run away from him, you bitch. Okay? Because when you think about it, it's not a movie of people attacking other people. It's people that are infected, they need help, and you're running away from them or you're hiding in your house.
You know,
It's kind of fucked up.
I did kind of thought of. I haven't seen Cabin Fever in a while. This was a much better version of Cabin Fever.
Oh, that movie sucked.
What? Well, I haven't seen it in a while, but I really enjoyed that movie.
I don't remember at all, but I know that it sucked. That's how I felt when it ended. And that's the feeling I carry with me.
It sucks.
Except for the fact, you're talking about the one with the guy from Boy Meets World, right?
Yeah.
It sucked.
Was it because he ran away?
Oh no.
Besides the atmosphere, it did kind of remind me of those 1950 B movies. You know what?
I don't know about those movies.
It kind of, in a way, it reminded me of Jaws. Just hear me out for a second. Jaws, in its own purest form, is a B movie where you have this one shark that goes and attack people. But the way Steven Spielberg, when he directed it, and the way he shot and everything about it, it doesn't feel like a B movie. This feels like just a really great movie just to watch. This is how this movie kind of felt like. Where I can't tell like exactly what's happening, but the way it kind of feels, it feels like this B movie that could happen in 1950s. But you know what? We're gonna take this B movie scenario and make it very serious and make it very horrifying. And that's what this felt like.
I want to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the main character? Now, in a technical sense, and I'll explain, the main character is the girl that was a witness to what happened that day. So she kind of explains, who each people are, and she gives background about the town and, about the events of the day and, explains her feelings of it, blah, blah, blah. No. What did you think about her? I think we're on the same page.
Forgettable?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not forgettable, but nothing special.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was saying. Like, I mean,
she was there just to be there. Like, she was there just only to explain what's going on. That's about it. And
I feel like they tried to make her a central part of the story, but she really wasn't.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that happened in the movie with her that I had no idea why the fuck they were even putting it in there. Like, wow, this shit's not relevant. Why is this here? And that's what kind of knocked, the points on this movie down for me a little bit.
Like, well, which part are you talking about?
Like, there's a part with some newscasters that they're on the air and they're explaining what happened, and then they show footage of them off the air.
Oh yeah,
talking shit about her.
Yeah.
Because she's a student and she's news reporting or doing her first newscast type of thing, and I think it was an assignment or something like that. She was an intern, and they were talking shit about her, and it's like her like little news career ambition or whatever is not relevant or important even to the story because they don't go anywhere with it, and they kind of drop her altogether for like a good while of the film where like you don't even hear from her. So it just makes me wonder why. And when she's like interviewing certain people, in the beginning it was okay because it's kind of setting things up, but afterwards it just wasn't relevant or it didn't matter, and it just kind of made the movie a little bit shittier.
There's two things I have to say. There's one, it's funny to see.
You agree? Okay.
No. Well, yes, but no. What I'm not trying to make the movie shitty, but yeah, she wasn't really relevant. When you told me what you thought of her, I couldn't really think of anything. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is this. It's funny to see her with like the hair during the whole like thing that happened, and like after like years later, it's like, wow, you look like a 12-year-old boy with the short hair, with the long hair. Like she looks a little better with the long hair than she does with the short.
Well, I think that was the point of it, to kind of show that a few years have passed, her hair has grown,
Yeah, like I get that.
she has grown,
I,
but no one cares. No one cares that she's grown or what she's doing now or any of that shit,
and
because they care about the story.
and you do have a half point that, like, when she was there. Yeah, let me get to what to say. Like, you're right. Most of the thing that she was there for, it did feel irrelevant. But it was later on in the movie where they were setting up the more of the atmosphere of the whole aftermath of it, and I thought those were like one of the best parts of the movie, where you see people just screaming and hollering and in pain, and
And
he's
her being scared and running like a little bitch, like a fucked up whore that she is.
it, it's a very scary situation.
It is, but it's people that need help, not people that are trying to hurt you. So it is kind of fucked up when you think about it, when you watch the movie. Not a lot of people think like me, so they're not going to think about, oh, damn, that's fucked up. But if you do reflect on it, and if you really think about it, it is fucked up. It's scary what's happening, but you shouldn't be running from those people. And I'm not saying you should try to help them either. It takes a very heroic type of person to do that. But I'm just saying, like, I have mixed feelings about it.
Well, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Not like even she could help that person. You saw what's been going on throughout the whole movie. Either she may have known or may have not known, but even then, when she saw like the whole situation, she ran. She's like, fuck this shit, and say, well, it's not like I couldn't agree with you, but at the same time, like, maybe you could have helped, maybe you could, but the way the entire thing goes is like, well, the fuck could you do at that point?
Yeah, but the reaction of running away is pretty fucked up, like,
You know what?
if she would have been like, oh my god, look what's happening to him, what do we do? Try to call the cops, and obviously they don't respond, whatever, but, something a little bit more, something a little humane than just run away from this person because he looks all decrepit and shit, even though he's not moving. Come on. Come on.
I
Come
do.
on.
I don't want to spoil, like, you say she run away. I don't want to spoil of the one part when, like, I did like the one part did make me jump, but then I laugh. I'm not gonna tell what made me laugh, but I feel I want to watch just that one part of the movie, just to see that one scene of when she run. I can't say why, but I thought it was pretty funny. I do gotta say there were some things kind of here and there that I thought, like, well, it made it a little tad bit hokey. Where you're right, there's something that did kind of like lost, or where the immersion of the movie, where it felt kind of real. There were some things here and there.
That's what I like about it. If it feels real, something that could actually happen, it makes it more interesting. And I think this movie, it did do a good job of revealing the story little by little. Sometimes I felt like it was a little bit too slow, but for the most part, the way it moved along and the way that it revealed things, and you see them trying to figure out what's happening, which is another thing of how they show how flawed the system is with our government and everything, which was pretty cool. Like that, they kind of somewhat knew what was going on, but they didn't report it until something was actually happening. And the disease control center was guy. He
He's
was like, so it took you 16 days to tell me about this, and it's like, yeah, pretty much. That's how it fucking works. And it's like, yeah, I could see that. That sounds realistic. You don't really care until it's happening to you, so why give a fuck? It's a small town. Let's sweep this under the rug. But it just, those parts to me seem really real, and that's what's kind of fascinating about it, because who knows, maybe it did happen. Or I'm sure things like this, maybe not to that extreme, have happened, and maybe it could happen one day, because it's just so real.
I can't think of anything else to say. You want to go a final verdict on it?
In a second, I just have to say one thing. This movie, it wasn't similar, but it kind of did remind me. I don't know if you ever watched the movie. I don't know if I have the right title. The Happening? Blank stare. Anyway.
Well, no. I meant like, wait. Are we sure? I know what movie you're talking about. It with Marky Mark,
I think so.
Mark
With the
Wahlberg.
plants, with the trees going against people.
Yes. The twist of the movie is it's a
It,
bad movie.
it kind of reminded me of that. Like nature going against us, but in a more realistic way where we're kind of making it happen. Because it kind of was like that, but it was more realistic. Because I did like The Happening. Like, I wasn't crazy about the movie, but I loved the theme of it, which was like we're kind of like our own worst enemies, and we're really horrible to nature, to our natural resources, the things that help give us life and help us sustain each other.
She says she liked the movie.
Yeah, I
Now
like the movie. Wait, which movie?
The Happening.
No, I said I like the theme. That's different.
Oh, you like the thing. So,
I like the theme. I like the idea, the concept.
Pepper, wherever you said, it's already on the internet. It's already on right now. People are just commenting. What, you like The Happening? How dare you? Whatever you say about this movie, they're gonna forget about everything you just said.
And I'm gonna say they're twisting my words because I said I like the concept of nature going against us because we're so horrible to it. And that's kind of what this movie reminds me of, like the way that we treat our resources. And it's a movie that makes you think and make you wish we were different than how we are and the way we do things, because it's a horrible, horrible thing. I honestly think that we should treat our planet a lot better than what we treat it, because the way that we're treating it, we're gonna run out of resources, and we're gonna run out of the things that sustain us, and it's really fucked up that people don't think about, and it's just about money. Something paper that we create out of trees that has only the value that we put on it.
So don't pollute, give a hoot. And if you
Save
don't,
money.
well, and also you don't give a hoot, bad shit is gonna happen. And
Bad stuff is already happening though.
oh yeah,
Gas, water.
but
In 10 years, we're not going to have any water, any fresh water.
oh,
How's that going to turn out?
we're gonna fight bugs. We're gonna take on the entire ecosystem.
That's the thing though, we can't.
We're
It's
fighting
kinda
against
like,
dolphins.
it's kind of like The Happening will tell you, and what any scientist will tell you. We need plants. Plants don't need us. Plants just need the sun, and that's it. They don't need us.
Yes.
Exactly.
Don't don't challenge me, Mal. It's not me you gotta go up against.
So I'm ready to rate this movie.
Okay, you go first. I go first.
I think that I would rate it, what's a 4?
4 is watch it ASAP.
I rate it, watch it ASAP. Whenever you have the time and you want to just watch a good movie and relax, this is a great movie to watch. I don't think it's the best, but it's definitely worth watching, and it's something that's going to make you pay attention, because it really does hold on to your attention, and you won't be playing Candy Crush while playing it. You won't fall asleep to it or have sex to it. You're going to be having sex, and then you're going to look up and start watching the TV and not pay attention to what's going on. This is a good movie.
I've been kind of battling myself because I can't think. It's between watches ASAP and watches on a Friday or Saturday night. But I say, you know what? Because yeah, there's some things like here and there. You know what? I'm gonna give it a very high watches ASAP. Yeah, you should watch it ASAP. You should watch it like it's so come close to it, but it did feel like some things like here and there where, like I said, it did feel a bit kind of hokey at times, and yeah. But other than that, it's a very solid movie.
What does hokey mean? I think I kind of know what it means. Does that mean like kind of comical or stupid?
In a sense, yeah. I'm trying to think of the better term for like where they sound like supposed to be a little more serious, but not. If I can make a best example, like classic Doctor Who.
I never watched, so that's not a good example.
Trying to think. Okay, Jaws. Jaws is a better example, which you have seen, where you've seen a shark, where the shark would be frightening, but you watch it like, man, this is some plastic shit.
Until you go on the ride in Universal Studios. Damn, that's a huge fish.
So yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, now I remember. This should be for those who's listening on the whatever podcast station that hopefully be on iTunes. You can follow me on Twitter at glquiz24, or you can subscribe and like to my YouTube channel at Combo Crisis at E1.
He finally memorized it, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Yeah, share, like, subscribe if you like us. I think you should. We're a pretty cool crowd.
Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna take you down to zero.
Support the arts. Damn.
And till then, Captain Planet, he's a hero.